Hey everyone, let's talk about this lesbian characters. So this is going on my main channel and I want to talk about something regarding this. I've created so much of lesbian characters, if not I would say, let's say 50 or more. Obviously plenty of them I'm still thinking of and developing, 50 or more. Now, why do I create these characters? Possibly majority of them have their own stories, majority of them are characters in other stories as well. Not a big deal, you know. Now, I don't write them to just, gain a certain audience, by the way. I'm not, you know, I'm not virtue signaling. I will never do that just to gain audience. I don't think that's the case. I write these characters how I write normal characters, which is give them correct personalities and a lot of interesting backgrounds and stuff like that. So I write them normally. Then I obviously will say that, you know, I have no issue with writing these characters. So, no issues whatsoever. However, not all my female characters, I have plenty of them, are lesbian. What I mean by this is, sometimes when I think of a character, you can't just think, you can't, you just, it's impossible for you to think them as a lesbian, and I mean it, you know. Some may say this is a rude thing to say. No, it's not. You can't think of of a character you create, I create as a lesbian. For example, let's say I have, let's say I have these two characters. I can think this and this, but for some reason, some characters with different personalities and stuff, and maybe they have different law, different stuff. I can't really think of them like that in some way. I just can't. You just can't picture them. You try to, maybe you can add it in, but you just can't because it's impossible. Especially when when I'm saying something like this, it's impossible because I can think of plenty of characters with weird personalities, but when it comes to making all characters lesbian, you just can't do it. Some of them will be not lesbian, you just can't think of them as that, which is a normal thing. You don't have to try everything to force it. The next thing is obviously, anything else? Romance. I want to use some lesbian characters in romance stuff, romantic stuff, but sometimes there's also some action involved. If they're the main character in a action idea, it will be different. There'll be less of this. Less, I'm saying like 70%. Less of this when it comes to like action or something else, something with, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe, anything else? I don't know. Maybe it's about, maybe they are focused on having another objective, different objective. Okay, just have a different objective altogether, and sometimes they may not have time for this, or maybe they do, but it's like a small percent of their time, honestly. So, end of the day, write characters how you write normal characters, and then you can add in the other stuff and be like, they're lesbian, not a big deal. You can add other stuff, their love life, and, you know. But once again, sometimes not all characters will end up having a relationship, because maybe they're too focused on other stuff, or, you know, focus on other stuff, and they're just too busy, write characters like that, you know. And that's just how I write my characters, my lesbian characters. It's not a big deal, but for me personally, I do think I can write these characters well. I've thought about plenty of cool characters with cool concepts, and the fact that when you write these characters, you feel happy. You don't feel like you're forced to do it. nothing feels forced. That's the thing. Because as I said before, some characters can be lesbian because you can think of them as lesbian, it's fine. But sometimes when you create a character, you just can't think of them as lesbian. You just can't because it just doesn't work in your mind, you know? But you have other characters as well, so that's completely fine, you know? Anyways, as I said, there'll be plenty of characters, lesbian characters, plus there will be more in the future, so don't worry about that. It's plenty of characters. So, once again, to recap, not virtue signaling. Write them normally, like normal characters, you know? So, also, no issues, you know? I have no issues with writing these characters. I personally have no issues with writing these characters. Not all lesbian. Not every female character I write is a lesbian. As I said, sometimes when I think of certain female characters, I try and think of them as a lesbian, maybe having a female partner. But for some reason, it doesn't work out. So obviously, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to waste time forcing this character to be something they're not, which I can't think of, you know. I know the characters, they can be whoever, but for me personally, when I write them down, not all of them can be thought as lesbian. That's the thing. Anyways, romance. Sometimes you can use them for romance. Sometimes you can also use them for action. But you know, sometimes when I'm writing action, they might have less romance because they focused on the action. And sometimes when I have a main objective, like a big objective, they have very little time for romance, you know? So what I'm gonna say is, you know, give them cool personalities, give them different stuff. Also, when you're creating their love life, you know, if you're creating their love life and stuff like that, give their lovers different personalities as well, you know. And there we go. Tell me your thoughts. And what do you think about the way I write these characters, the way I plan these characters? Because I think it's somewhat cool, in my opinion. And I do like this type of spider diagram that I'm doing now for videos because I can show you at least what I'm talking about and show some diagrams. Use these diagrams to explain things a bit more. Tell me if these diagrams are effective. Maybe I can do better videos. But anyways, I don't know if I should make one more video. I have a bit of more time left. Let's just see what happens. Anyways, take